Heaven has its agenda, this we know. Higher dimensional beings guide and direct our world and our personal lives. Nothing is as it seems to be. There is so much more to our reality than we can presently imagine. This is just the way it is. We cannot control it, but we can, and we must endeavor to understand it. For us, life in this present reality can be rightfully compared to school. We are here in this life to learn lessons and to grow and mature as the eternal souls that we truly are. So, how do infinite beings break out of the shells that restrict and confine their true identities? In order for us to know how to break out, we must first understand how we got caught up within the shells in the first place. We are not here on Earth, living as finite human beings, by accident. We did not fall. We are not being punished. All thoughts along this line are infantile and need to be dismissed. We came to Earth from a dimension beyond, from a place which we generically call heaven. We will, in the end, return there. But in the meantime, we are here. We are here to learn and to grow. But all this has a purpose, a very important purpose. Maybe we can say that the purpose of our being here is vital and essential for all existence here in this dimensional plane. Our role as souls, incarnate in the garments, shells, bodies of this dimensional plane, is necessary for the growth and development of this dimensional plane. We came here into this dimensional plane to perform a task and function that no others here could perform. Essentially, we are essential. But it is very important for us to understand the nature of this essentialness. In the beginning, God created all realities, from the highest, most pure and ideal to the lowest, the most impure and flawed. All is interconnected, all is one. The dimensions of reality can be viewed, by us, as being cyclical. At the top of the circle is God. That which is closest to Him are the higher dimensions. At the bottom of the circle is the furthest point away from God, or so it seems. This is the realm of the lower dimensions. The light of God emanates from above and travels around the circle to below. At the bottom of the circle, the light must then return and ascend, thus keeping the light flowing from above to below and from below to above. God sets the light in motion in its descent from above to below. But who is it that sets the light in motion from below to above? The only one that can send light in motion is God Himself. But God is cloaked and concealed in the lower, impure, flawed dimensions. So where is God to be found in these lower dimensions? Need you ask? God is found within the human soul, and this is why human souls need to come to Earth. Human souls take on physical form in these lower dimensions, specifically with the purpose and intent to capture the descending light as it descends, and to reverse its flow, allowing the light to ascend. God above sends the light down. God below, with the human soul, returns the light above, thus completing the circuit of the flow of divine light, which is the source of everything in reality. And just in case you may ask, why must there exist lower, impure, and flawed dimensions? The answer is simple. Because they can exist, they must exist. Or otherwise, wholeness is not whole, and completeness is not complete. The purpose of creation is for all forms and possibilities to manifest, and just as the image of God above is pure and ideal, so the image of God below is found in the impure and flawed, us here in this world. So our essential purpose, which is necessary for the entire universe, is to capture the descending light, or yashar, and to realign it, allowing to ascend, or hosa. In doing this, we fulfill the role of the divine in creation. And thus are we called the children of the living God, created, as we are, in the divine image. This function and purpose of ours is finite. In other words, there was to it a beginning, and thus there will be to it an end. When the end finally comes, the lower dimensions will have matured, grown up, and outgrown their initial impure, flawed states. Compare it, if you will, to a child growing up. At first we had no control. As babies we would make messes in our diapers and anywhere else if given the opportunity. As we grew up and matured, as an individual or as a group, we outgrew our childhood and began to act like an adult. Just as human beings physically mature, regardless of will or effort, so too do human souls evolve and fulfill the purpose for which we each incarnate in this low dimension. There really is something called fate, or destiny, and we are all subject to it. We are taught that through many cycles of reincarnation, each of us grows and matures, coming closer to fulfilling the purpose for our presence here in the first place. We start off being impure and flawed, for this is the present nature of this present universe. It is up to us as the conduits for the descending light to help purify this dimension and to fix its flaws. This we do, slowly but surely. The natural energetic patterns of this lower dimension naturally have a significant influence upon souls as they incarnate here in the flesh. As we receive the descending light, we learn from it how not to embrace the external impure, flawed pattern and to instead embrace and then manifest the descending light path of ideal purity into its opposite, this dimensional plane. By doing this, the light from above accomplishes its purpose of influence below and ascends again, better than it was originally, for now it brings up the impure, making it pure. When this process finally comes to an end, making the lower dimensions a proper and healthy reflection of the higher dimension, we will have achieved what we call the messianic era. As we approach this point of energetic balance, the time period preceding it will reflect all sorts of realignments that will be interpreted by many as being upheavals. This period is the prophesied end of days. It has long been misunderstood to think of the end of days as a period in historical time. This is not true. The end of days is a level of consciousness that expresses the maturation of souls immediately prior to their final accomplishment of the tasks for which they presently incarnate here in this dimension. Understanding that the end of days is a level of consciousness with its own unique energy signature, we can thus use holy names from the Torah to assist us in altering present consciousness in order to grant us access to and insight about the psychic end of days, which awaits us all.